global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Amaewhule, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, can no longer keep calm and he had said to speak out. Don't forget that there have been so many things said or done and done during the emergency rule and during the fracas he had between himself and the State Assembly, Rivers State Assembly and Fubara. A lot of things were said. He had decided to speak up, in fact, insisting that posterity will actually give him justice. Let's quickly find out what he's saying that is making Riverians all over to react with different mixed reaction to his bold statement and claims. But before going to his proper, kindly subscribe to our channel. According to what we gathered, the Rivers State House of Assembly, which was at the center of the crisis that eventually led to the declaration of the state of emergency on the state by President Bola Tinubu, has been described as independent and conscious of its constitutional role as one of the three arms of government. Amaewhule, Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, made this known some few hours ago while speaking at the maiden public engagement program, which was titled Advancing Politics and Legislature, organized by the Center for Politics. Now, Martins Nwachukwu, Special Assistant on Media to the Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, in a release said in a lecture on the role of the legislature in a democratic system, Amaewhule described the legislature as the symbol and heartbeat of democracy. He said, and I quote him word for word, "The legislature is the symbol of democracy. It will go down in history that during the political crisis in Rivers State, the House of Assembly, under my leadership, upheld sanctity of democracy and defended the rule of law." The Speaker, with reference to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, explained the constitutional provisions regarding elections and continuity in governance during extraordinary situations. He noted that the Constitution empowers those in authority, including the President and the members of the National Assembly, to remain in office where elections cannot be conducted due to instability or national emergencies until such elections are held. Go to the 1999 Constitution as amended. It is clear that if, for any reason, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, cannot conduct elections due to instability or impossibility, those in authority shall continue until elections are conducted. That is the position of the law. The Speaker said that drawing from judicial precedent, Amaewhule cited the recent Supreme Court judgment, which affirmed that in the absence of elections, duly elected officials at the local government level could continue in office until new elections are conducted, a position consistent with the constitutional principle of governance continuity. The Supreme Court had settled this matter. There is now a judicial precedent confirming that in the absence of elections, those duly elected can continue in office until new elections are held. Now, this reinforces the stability and continuity of governance, he said. The Speaker explained that the three cardinal functions of the legislature, which is lawmaking, oversight, and representation, noting that these pillars are the foundation on which every democratic society stands. Amaewhule described lawmaking as the foremost duty of the legislature, which provides the legal framework for governance and ensures that the peace, order, and good governance of the state. He stressed the importance of the Assembly's oversight function, which he said is the mechanism through which the legislature holds the executive accountable, ensuring transparency, fiscal discipline, and efficiency in public administration. representation, Amaewhule said, connect the people to government, ensuring that their voices, needs, and aspirations are reflected in policy and laws. The speaker commended the Center for Politics for initiating the public engagement and also engagement series, describing it as a bridge between academic research and real-world governance. He encouraged students to actively participate in political discourse and legislative studies to deepen democratic understanding in Nigeria. In attendance, of course, at the event were Judge Will Owonari, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, prominent politicians like Tonye, Prince Will, senior academics, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and representatives of civil society organizations were ably represented and present. Martin Amaewhule is saying in a nutshell that precedent has been set. Now, going forward, everybody, every politician who have seen what has happened in Rivers State can take precedence from what happened in Rivers State, which means in an absence of no election, so which means any time, just adding 2 and 2 together based on what he said, that anytime there's issues in the state where elections cannot hold, the duly elected officials who have been there, who are supposed to have resigned, or who are supposed to have finished their tenure by virtue of 4 years as stipulated in our constitution, but because now there's whatever reason, either there's instability or for whatever reason INEC cannot conduct election, those old elected officers who are supposed to have left the office must remain until elections now hold, which means, like me now, for instance, in the voice of Wike, Inyendeba, I want my boys to remain in office. By virtue of what Amaewhule is saying, and by virtue of the precedent he said has been set, is if I don't want my boys to leave the office, I will make sure elections does not hold. Yes, that's what he's saying. Somehow there will be a reason. So which means if I want my boys to stay beyond 4 years, I want them to stay up to 6 years, I will ensure no matter what. Just like Wike will do, elections there, court cases here, court cases there. If INEC want to, conduct election, I sue INEC, I sue parties involved. Before you know it, the case will now be pending in court for 2 years, 3 years, even. It can even move to 5 years. And those who have already spent 4 years before plus 5, that's not 9 years. Let's be playing, as in let's continue this drama. Let's use our own hand to adjust this constitution to suit us. Very soon, even we that started it. Look at, sometimes we hear some old former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, wants to correct some ills. But if we had followed it the way it is, but we just we like looking for loopholes. And we will now sleep and marinate on that loopholes. We will meander on it, until finally everybody is now used to the loopholes. Let's continue. Let's go wrap it up. That's exactly what is causing a lot of mixed reaction, both on social media and off social media. Let's be that conversation.